The edge of the galaxy was quiet, but it was not peaceful. A giant alien observation station floated in the dark, its long silver arms stretching like claws toward the stars. It was built to guard the border, to keep watch over the one place every species feared, the Milky Way. Legends were told in every academy, every council hall, every homeworld. The words were always the same. No one crosses into the Milky Way. It is cursed. It is a zone of death. Inside the station, alien cadets whispered when the lights dimmed. Some said strange ships once entered and never returned. Others claimed monsters lived there, creatures that ate entire fleets. The older officers never explained, they only warned. Do not ask. Do not think about it. Do not go near it. But one cadet could not stop thinking about it. His name was Kiro. He was young, his scales still shining bright blue, his golden eyes full of restless questions. He trained like the others, studied like the others, but his mind was always wandering to the unknown. He often stood at the observation deck, staring at the dark space beyond the border. That was where the Milky Way began, the place wrapped in mystery. Why is it forbidden? Kiro once asked his commander. The commander's voice was sharp. Because it is dangerous. That is all you need to know. But what kind of danger? Kiro pressed. The commander slammed his tail on the metal floor. Enough, he roared. The room fell silent. None of the other cadets dared to breathe. Kiro lowered his head, but inside his chest the fire of curiosity grew stronger. That night, when the station was quiet and the patrol shifts were changing, Kiro sneaked into the lower chamber where the long-range scanners were kept. The machines were old but powerful, built to look deep into forbidden zones without sending ships. He had watched the officers use them many times. Now, with his claws trembling, he activated one himself. The screen flickered to life. At first, he saw only empty stars, quiet and cold. He adjusted the frequency, narrowed the field, and then something appeared. A planet. It spun slowly on the screen, wrapped in blue oceans and green forests. Clouds swirled above it in massive storms. White ice shone at the poles. Lightning flashed in the clouds, bright and violent. Kiro leaned closer, his golden eyes wide. Alive, he whispered. It's alive. He had studied many worlds in his training, but none looked like this. Most habitable planets were calm, soft, and safe. But this one looked wild. It looked dangerous. He zoomed in closer, and his chest tightened. He saw movement. Not machines, not ships, but creatures. They ran across the forests, swam in the oceans, flew in the skies. They fought storms, climbed mountains, and hunted each other with sharp teeth. Life was everywhere, chaotic and endless. Kiro's claws tapped nervously on the console. He had never seen anything like it. He checked the system's data logs and found the planet's name recorded in old files, dusty with age. Earth. He whispered the name, tasting the strange sound. At that moment, the door creaked. Kiro froze. Another cadet entered, yawning, holding a data pad. When he saw Kiro at the scanner, his eyes widened in shock. "What are you doing?" he hissed. "That zone is forbidden." Kiro pointed to the screen, his voice shaking with excitement. "Look, it's not empty. There's a planet there. Earth. It's alive. Full of storms, full of creatures. Why would they forbid us from seeing this?" The cadet stepped back, fear twisting his face. "Turn it off. If the commanders find out, you'll be punished. Maybe worse." Kiro's heart pounded. He knew the cadet was right, but something inside him refused to stop. He stared at the wild planet, feeling something he had never felt before. It was not fear. It was not caution. It was something stronger. He wanted to know. "Maybe the legends are wrong," Kiro said softly. "Maybe this place is not cursed. Maybe it's hidden because of something greater." The cadet shook his head, terrified. "Don't speak like that. The Milky Way is forbidden. Everyone knows this. Ships that enter never return." Kiro's eyes glowed in the scanner's blue light. "Then I will return. I will see it myself." The other cadets' jaw dropped. "You can't be serious." But Kiro was already turning off the scanner, memorizing the coordinates. His decision was made. He could no longer live with whispers and half-truths. He needed answers. Later, As the station drifted silently near the border, Kiro stood in the hangar bay beside a small patrol craft. His claws trembled as he opened the hatch, his mind racing with warnings and legends. He could almost hear the commander's voice. Do not ask. Do not think about it. Do not go near it. And yet he stepped inside the craft. The engines hummed softly, lights flickered, and the navigation system glowed. Beyond the hangar doors stretched the dark expanse, the edge of the Milky Way. Kiro's chest tightened. He was about to break the greatest rule of his people. But his curiosity was stronger than his fear. Why is it forbidden? He whispered to himself. What truth are they hiding? The hangar doors opened. His ship slid into the dark, leaving the safety of the station behind. As the stars shifted and the Milky Way's bright arm stretched before him, Kiro's heart raced. His journey had begun. The legend said no one crossed into the Milky Way. Tonight, that would change. Kiro's patrol craft moved silently through the black emptiness of space. Stars stretched endlessly, bright and cold. The Milky Way glowed faintly in the distance, a ribbon of light that had been forbidden to his people for generations. Now, it lay open before him. His claws hovered over the controls, his golden eyes wide with awe. The station's warnings echoed in his mind. No one crosses into the Milky Way. Ships do not return. Danger waits at every turn. Yet, for the first time, fear mixed with excitement. The scanner hummed softly as he adjusted the craft's trajectory. He wanted to get close, closer than any alien had dared. And then he saw it, a planet. It hung in space like a jewel. Blue oceans swirled with white clouds, green forests stretched endlessly, and towering mountains poked through misty valleys. Kiro's breath caught in his throat. He had studied many planets, scanned hundreds of worlds, but none had ever looked like this. Lightning flashed in the stormy clouds. Waves crashed violently against coastlines. Smoke rose from volcanic mountains. The planet was alive. Not peaceful, not calm, but wild and untamed. Kiro leaned closer to the screen. His heart pounded as he zoomed in. He could see movement. Tiny figures, creatures, moved across forests, swam in rivers, and climbed rocky cliffs. They were small, fragile-looking, yet they faced storms head-on, unafraid. They survive, Kiro whispered to himself. Ow! His claw trembled as he adjusted the scanner. More images appeared. Humans building shelters during floods, running from predators, climbing mountains in freezing snow. Each scene showed them in danger, yet they persisted. Each scene challenged everything Kiro thought he knew about life. They are not weak, he muttered. They are different. Kiro's mind raced. He had heard legends of Deathworlders, humans who supposedly thrived on dangerous planets. But he had dismissed it as myth, a story to frighten young cadets. Now he saw proof. The humans were alive, clever, and strong in ways his people had never imagined. A soft beep from the scanner drew his attention. He had accidentally triggered the craft's external sensors. A small shadow moved in orbit near him, a human satellite. Kiro froze. They were watching. Panic surged, but he forced himself to stay calm. If they notice me, what will they do? Attack? Study me? Or worse? The scanner displayed more details. Cities rising along rivers, small vehicles moving on long roads, people working together in the middle of dangerous storms. Some climbed mountains in blizzards. Others crossed raging rivers without hesitation. Kiro could not understand how any species could endure so much danger and still smile. This is impossible, he whispered. They should not survive here. He tapped the controls, marking coordinates and taking thousands of images. Every scene was more terrifying and mesmerizing than the last. Humans fought nature, animals, weather, and even each other, but they survived, adapted, and learned. Kiro realized that the legends about the Milky Way being cursed were not about the stars or the space itself. The danger was the life within it. The humans were the danger. Suddenly, the craft shuddered. His scanners picked up a faint energy signature, a small ship leaving Earth's atmosphere, heading straight toward him. Panic rose in Kiro's chest. Could humans travel into space? Were they coming for him? He tried to accelerate, but the Milky Way's gravitational pull tugged at his ship. The sensors warned of instability. He was too close. The approaching ship grew larger on his display. It was small, sleek, and unlike anything Kiro had seen. Humans were not primitive. They were advanced, capable of leaving their own dangerous planet and seeking intruders. Kiro's mind raced. If they reach me, I have no weapons, no fleet, nothing but this small craft. What do I do? His golden eyes darted over the images of Earth once more. Volcanoes, storms, predators, oceans, mountains, and the humans who faced them all. Something stirred in him, all mixed with fear. He realized that his curiosity had brought him face to face with a species unlike any other in the galaxy. The human ship's lights blinked as it approached. Kiro's heart raced. The legends were true in ways he hadn't expected. This was not a cursed, empty space. This was a test, and he was in the middle of it. The engines of the approaching ship hummed louder. Kiro gripped the controls. He had to decide, flee back to the border, risking the pull of the Milky Way, or stay and face whatever was coming. He swallowed hard. Fear shook him, but curiosity burned brighter. I have to know the truth. I must see them up close. The human ship dropped from orbit, moving with precision. Kiro's scanner pinged again. They were observing him now, studying his small craft. He could not hide. The young cadet's mind raced with possibilities, but one thought dominated everything else. These humans were not weak. They were alive in a way no other species could understand. Kiro tightened his grip. He set the course toward Earth's atmosphere. The Milky Way had always been forbidden. Legends said no one should cross. But tonight, one young cadet was about to break that rule, and the truth of Earth would be revealed to him for the first time. The stars blurred as his craft descended. Lightning cracked across the sky. Mountains and oceans sprawled below. And Kiro realized, with both terror and wonder, that he was about to meet the most dangerous species he had ever seen. Kiro's patrol craft trembled as it pierced Earth's upper atmosphere. Flames licked the edges of the hull, and the sensors screamed warnings. The blue and green planet below spun with storms and rivers, mountains and forests. Lightning split the clouds, striking jagged peaks. Kiro gripped the controls, his golden eyes wide with both fear and excitement. He had read about dangerous planets in Academy manuals, but nothing prepared him for this. Every surface, every storm, every movement below screamed danger. Yet the humans below did not flee. They walked into storms, climbed mountains, and crossed rivers, unafraid. As he slowed his descent, the craft's instruments beeped furiously. Another object appeared on the radar. Small, fast-moving, and intelligent. The sensors identified it as a human exploration craft, closing rapidly. Panic surged through Kiro. He had crossed a forbidden boundary, entered a strange world, and now he was about to meet the species he had only seen in legends. The legends said humans were reckless, fragile, and primitive. But what he had witnessed told a different story, one of courage and skill beyond imagination. The human craft hovered above a forest clearing, scanning the sky. Kiro tried to evade, but the Milky Way's gravity and Earth's pull made maneuvers difficult. His small patrol craft shuddered, struggling against turbulence from storms above. The human ship emitted a beam of scanning light, locking onto him. Kiro froze. His mind raced. Do they attack immediately? Are they armed? Will they destroy me? A loud voice came through the comms, calm but firm. Kiro flinched. He could not understand the words, but the tone was clear. They're not panicked. They are confident. Then the craft landed in the clearing below, kicking up dust and leaves. Kiro's craft slipped and skidded, finally coming to a shaky stop on a plateau near a river. Smoke rose from the exhaust vents, sparks flew, and the young cadet realized he was trapped. A group of humans emerged from the craft. They were fully equipped for survival in extreme conditions. Helmets, suits, and gear designed for storms, mountains, and volcanic zones. Their movement was careful but purposeful. No fear showed in their posture. Kiro's claws tapped nervously on the console. He could fire the craft's defense systems, but something in their steady approach froze him. They were not like the aliens he had trained with. They did not hesitate. They did not panic. They walked calmly toward him. One human, taller than the others and carrying a small device in his hand, stopped a few meters from Kiro's craft. He did not raise a weapon. He merely raised his hand in a neutral gesture. Kiro's heart raced. The human spoke again. This time, Kiro caught some words through the universal translator his ship carried. "Why are you here? Who are you?" The question was simple, but it carried weight. Kiro wanted to answer, but fear and awe locked his tongue. He had never spoken to another species face to face, never observed them so close. And these humans, they did not flinch, did not scream, did not attack. Kiro opened the craft's hatch cautiously. Hot air and the scent of rain hit him. The wind ruffled his blue scales, and he stepped outside. His claws dug into the rocky soil, trembling. The humans circled him calmly, observing. One placed a hand on a small panel, emitting a soft glow, scanning him. Another spoke, gently, almost like a teacher. "Do not be afraid. We are not here to harm you." Kiro's mind spun. This was impossible. Every story, every legend said humans would be weak, easy to kill. Yet they stood before him, composed, skilled, unshaken by storms, fire, or predators. Finally, Kiro found his voice. I am Kiro. I come from the border of the galaxy. I wanted to see." The human smiled faintly. "You came far. You risked much. You are curious. That is why you are here." Kiro's golden eyes widened. They understood. They knew why he had crossed into the Milky Way. They were not angry. They were not frightened. They were aware. A gust of wind blew, tossing leaves and rain. Kiro shivered, but the humans remained steady. One approached closer and said, "Follow us. You will see why we survive here." Suspicion and awe warred in Kiro's mind. He wanted to run, to retreat to his ship, but something told him to stay. These creatures were unlike any he had ever met. Their calmness was terrifying, their courage inspiring. As they walked toward a nearby river, Kiro's eyes caught sight of a human climbing a cliff in the distance. Rain lashed down, lightning illuminated the jagged rocks, and still the human climbed, unafraid of the deadly fall below. Kiro whispered under his breath, "This is why they are called Death Worlders." For the first time, the young cadet understood the truth behind the legends. The Milky Way was not forbidden because of empty dangers or accursed space. It was forbidden because it held a species that survived in ways no one else could imagine. And Kiro, the curious alien who had crossed the border, was about to witness it up close. The humans stopped at the river's edge. One knelt, touching the water. Another pointed toward distant mountains. Their gestures were calm, precise, and confident. Kiro followed, unsure of what he would see next. His heart raced. The stories of his people, the warnings from the elders, the fears that had haunted generations, they all melted against the reality before him. Humans were not weak. Humans were alive in the most dangerous, most fearless way. And now, Kiro realized his life would never be the same. Kiro followed the humans through the dense forest. Rain poured down in heavy sheets, soaking his blue scales. Lightning split the sky above, and thunder rolled across the mountains. The cadet shivered, but the humans walked steadily, their boots crunching on the wet earth. The young alien had expected panic. He had expected fear. Every story from his academy told him that life on Earth would be chaotic, deadly, and overwhelming, but he assumed the humans would flee, hide, or die. He was wrong. One human reached a fallen tree and carefully balanced on it, crossing a rushing stream. Kiro froze, staring. The water below was dark and wild, swirling with currents strong enough to sweep him away. The human moved gracefully, steady as a rock. He did not hesitate. He did not panic. He crossed the stream like it was a normal path, not a deadly hazard. Kiro swallowed hard. How can they do this?" he whispered. Another human led him up a steep, rocky cliff. Rain made the stones slippery, and jagged edges threatened to tear through his suit. Yet the human climbed with precision, each step measured. His breathing was controlled, his movements confident. Even when a loose rock fell near his foot, he did not flinch. Instead, he adjusted, climbed faster, and reached the top with ease. Kiro's mind raced. His own species would have collapsed in fear long before the first step. But these humans, small, seemingly fragile, survived without hesitation. At the cliff's summit, the human stopped and gestured toward a valley below. Lightning illuminated the scene. Rivers raged, forests swayed violently in the storm, and mountains rose sharply in the distance. Yet among all this danger, humans moved as if they belonged. The lead human knelt and touched the ground. "Every part of this world is alive," he said, and Kiro understood the translator perfectly. "Every storm, every predator, every fire teaches us how to survive." Kiro's golden eyes widened. You live in constant danger, and you thrive." The human nodded. "We do not just survive. We face it. Danger is a teacher. Fear is a guide. We respect it, but we do not bow to it." The cadet's heart pounded. His people had feared the Milky Way for generations. Entire fleets had avoided this sector of space. And yet, here were humans, not only surviving, but mastering their environment, learning from every hazard. The humans led him to a volcanic plain next. Smoke and ash filled the air, and rivers of molten rock glowed beneath them. The ground trembled with distant eruptions. Kiro's claws dug into the rocks as he shivered. Even standing on solid ground, he felt the heat sear his scales. One human walked through the plain confidently, testing the edges of lava streams with special boots. Another human crouched to analyze a strange, glowing plant, ignoring the clouds of toxic gas rising from cracks in the earth. Kiro turned to the lead human. Why risk your life for this?" he asked. "Why not stay safe?" The human looked up, lightning flashing behind his head. His face was calm, almost smiling. "Because life is not about safety. Life is about facing the unknown, learning, surviving, and growing. Every danger we face makes us stronger, wiser, and prepared for the next one." The words hit Kiro like a shockwave. He remembered the warnings from his academy. The Milky Way is cursed. Danger kills all who enter. Humans are fragile. None of it was true. Humans were not fragile. They were forged in fire, storms, and predators. Every challenge they faced made them better, sharper, braver. A small human girl ran past them, leaping across a deep fissure. She landed perfectly, unscathed, and continued her work as if the gap had been nothing. Kiro watched, amazed. He realized the species had no fear of death in the way his people understood it. They were not reckless. They were fearless because they had trained, tested, and mastered every danger since birth. Kiro felt a strange mix of awe and terror. These beings were not just survivors. They were predators of adversity itself. The Milky Way had not been forbidden because of empty space or cursed stars. It had been forbidden because no one could survive humans, and the humans themselves had learned to survive everything the universe threw at them. As the storm raged around them, Kiro asked, How did your people become like this?" The human leader smiled faintly. "Every challenge we faced shaped us. Storms taught us balance. Predators taught us strategy. Mountains taught us endurance. Every danger made us who we are, and we never stopped learning." Kiro's golden eyes followed a group of humans moving through a valley full of dangerous animals. They communicated silently, helping each other, predicting hazards, adapting instantly. Kiro's mind reeled. The stories, warnings, and legends he had grown up with were nothing compared to what he now saw. For the first time, he understood the meaning of the word Deathworlders. Humans were not only capable of surviving deadly worlds, they thrived in them. They did not fear death. They faced it, learned from it, and continued forward. Kiro swallowed hard. His mission had been curiosity. His mission had been exploration. But now his mission had changed. He needed to learn, to understand, to survive alongside these beings. The human leader turned to him. "You came to see the Milky Way for yourself. Now you see why no one crosses into it. But if you stay, you will learn more than any story could teach you." Kiro's heart pounded. He nodded slowly. He had crossed the forbidden edge. He had seen Earth. And now, the harsh truth of this world had begun to reshape him. The storm continued to rage around them, but Kiro felt something new: determination. He was no longer a cadet studying from a distance. He was a student of humans, about to face the ultimate lessons of survival, courage, and fearlessness. The journey had only begun. Kiro had followed the humans for days. Each moment brought a new test of courage. He had seen storms that could tear mountains apart, rivers that could swallow entire forests, and predators that could kill with one strike. Yet the humans moved as if the danger were a challenge to overcome, not a reason to flee. Today, they led him into a volcanic region, where molten lava flowed like rivers of fire. Steam rose in thick clouds, and the air shimmered with heat. Kiro's claws burned as he walked cautiously behind them, careful not to touch the scorching rocks. A human woman, tall and strong, stepped forward, her boots glowing faintly as they absorbed the heat. She knelt by a fissure and examined the glowing magma. Kiro watched in awe. She seemed calm, almost bored, while the ground trembled and lava hissed beneath her. "Why do you risk your lives in such places?" Kiro asked, his voice trembling. "You could die any second. Why do you not run?" The woman looked at him, her eyes steady. "Because running solves nothing. Life is about learning from danger. Each risk we face teaches us how to survive the next one. We adapt, we endure, and we grow stronger." Kiro's golden eyes widened. He had heard the legends of Deathworlders before, but he never truly understood. Now he saw the truth. Humans were not reckless. They were trained by nature itself. Every storm, every predator, every fire had shaped them into a species that could not be defeated by ordinary dangers. As they moved further, Kiro noticed a group of humans working together to cross a lava field. One of them fell into a shallow pool of molten rock. Instead of panicking, the others acted immediately, using long metal rods to pull him out. The fallen human coughed, but smiled, nodding to show he was unharmed. Kiro's jaw dropped. They risk their lives not because they are foolish, but because they trust themselves and each other, he whispered. A human man turned to Kiro and spoke, his voice calm and deep. "You came here curious, and now you see why our world is dangerous. But danger does not frighten us. It teaches us, it tests us, and it reveals who we truly are." Kiro shivered. He had expected chaos, but what he saw was controlled, disciplined, and precise. Humans had learned to read the world itself, to predict its dangers, and to survive where others would die. The cadet followed them to a high mountain peak. The wind howled, carrying snow and ice across jagged rocks. Below, volcanoes spewed smoke and fire, rivers roared, and storms raged. And yet, humans walked across the peak without hesitation, guiding each other, adjusting to every gust and obstacle. Kiro's mind raced. The Milky Way had been forbidden to his people for centuries. Fleets avoided this sector, stories warned generations, and legends spoke of humans as weak and fragile. Now he understood. The Milky Way was forbidden not because of space, or storms, or predators alone. It was forbidden because of the humans themselves. "They survive everything," Kiro murmured. "Every danger, every storm, every predator. Nothing stops them." The human leader turned to him, eyes sharp and unwavering. "We are dangerous, yes. Not because we are aggressive, but because we endure what no other species could. The Milky Way is harsh, but we are Deathworlders. Danger teaches us, shapes us, and makes us strong. That is why we survive where others cannot." Kiro stared at the humans climbing higher into the mountains, leaping across chasms, and navigating lava streams. His chest tightened with awe and fear. He realized that his people had been wrong to fear them as myths. Humans were real, and their power was terrifying. Suddenly, his ship's sensors beeped frantically. Alien warships from the edge of the galaxy were approaching, scanning for his signal. Kiro's heart sank. His people had discovered his journey. They would demand he return, and they would likely try to destroy the humans for breaking the Milky Way's laws. Kiro turned to the human leader, urgency in his eyes. They're coming. My fleet. They will force me back. They will attack you. The leader's expression remained calm, almost amused. Let them come. They will see what you have already seen. Humans are not to be underestimated. Fear will not stop us. And if they challenge us, they will learn why no one crosses into the Milky Way. Kiro swallowed hard. The wind howled, the volcano rumbled, and lightning split the sky. He realized something he had never felt before, mixed with fear. He had crossed boundaries his people had never dared approach. He had witnessed danger beyond imagination, and he had seen humans conquer it with confidence and skill. They are not weak, he whispered to himself. They are Deathworlders. The storm raged around them, yet Kiro felt a strange calm. He understood the legends now. Humans were alive in ways no other species could imagine. Their fearlessness was real, their strength unmatched, and their survival instinct beyond comprehension. The Milky Way was no longer just forbidden. It was a proving ground, and Kiro had seen the proof. He clenched his claws, determination rising in his chest. He had crossed into a forbidden zone, defied centuries of warnings, and now he knew the terrifying truth. Humans were not just survivors. They were predators of danger itself. And soon, the galaxy would have to learn the same lesson. Kiro's sensors screamed warnings. Alien warships from the edge of the galaxy were closing fast. Red lights flashed across his patrol craft. They had discovered his journey into the Milky Way. Panic surged in Kiro's chest. His people would demand his immediate return. If the humans were attacked, he could not predict the outcome. His claws trembled. He had crossed boundaries that had been respected for centuries. Now the consequences were about to arrive. From the volcanic mountains, Kiro watched as the alien fleet approached Earth. Massive ships glinted under lightning flashes, their weapons aimed and ready. The fleet had one goal: extract Kiro and ensure humans remained unknown and controlled. The human leader turned to Kiro, calm and unwavering. "Do not worry about your people," he said. "They underestimate us. That will be their mistake." Kiro swallowed hard. They will not listen. They will attack. They must believe humans are weak. The leader smiled faintly. "And that is why we will show them the truth." Kiro watched as humans moved toward the approaching fleet. They did not panic. They did not hide. They did not flee. They stood tall, their figures illuminated by the storms, lightning, and volcanic glow. Every human was alert, ready, and unafraid. The alien fleet opened fire. Energy beams streaked through the stormy sky. But the humans did not run. They maneuvered through the chaos with precision, their technology blending with their instincts, using shields and countermeasures that Kiro had never seen before. He realized with awe, humans had adapted not only to their own planet, but to war and danger itself. Every story of weakness he had known was false. They were not just survivors. They were fighters, learners, and conquerors of hazard. Kiro's mind raced. He could warn his fleet, plead with them, tell them to retreat, but it was too late. The humans had already revealed their power. One human launched a small drone that neutralized multiple warship weapons. Another sent out a blinding energy pulse, forcing the aliens to maneuver defensively. Kiro could not believe his eyes. Lightning cracked the sky as if nature itself sided with the humans. Volcanoes erupted, sending rivers of lava toward the alien fleet. The fleet struggled to avoid natural hazards they had not anticipated. The humans moved through it all with calm, deadly precision. Kiro whispered, "The legends, they were wrong. It was never the Milky Way that was dangerous. It was them." The alien fleet hesitated. Kiro's people had never encountered such adaptability. They had never faced a species that could survive every hazard and fight back with intelligence and courage. The humans were not to be trifled with. Kiro stepped forward. "Your fleet, my people, they will not leave easily. What should I do?" The human leader looked at him with steady eyes. "You came to learn the truth. Now help us show it. Stand with us, or step aside. Let the universe see what it has never seen before." Kiro's claws clenched. He felt a surge of purpose. The humans had taught him that fear could be faced, that danger could be mastered. He was no longer just a curious cadet. He was a witness to the most dangerous species alive. The alien fleet faltered, their attacks becoming less coordinated. Lightning split the sky, striking near warships and forcing them to retreat. Earth itself seemed alive, defending its inhabitants. Kiro watched amazed. Humans moved like shadows, unpredictable, smart, and unafraid. Finally, the lead human raised a hand. The humans paused. The alien fleet hovered uncertainly, scanning, calculating. Then Kiro spoke. "My people, they fear you because they cannot understand you. They think you are myths, weak and fragile. They are wrong. They will see now why humans are called Deathworlders." The aliens hesitated, unsure how to respond. Kiro's words, combined with what they had witnessed, the humans' skill, courage, and calm in the face of extreme danger, shook them to their core. They had expected weakness. They had not expected mastery. A massive storm erupted across the mountains and forests. Lava flowed faster, rivers swelled, and wind whipped like a living creature. Humans continued their movements flawlessly, guiding each other, predicting every hazard, surviving everything the universe had thrown at them. Kiro realized the truth fully. The Milky Way had been forbidden not because of empty dangers, not because of storms or radiation, but because humans existed. They were the ultimate hazard. Any species that underestimated them would fail. Any species that tried to conquer them would learn the same lesson Kiro now understood. The alien fleet, overwhelmed and terrified, retreated slowly. Weapons deactivated. Kiro watched, his heart pounding. The Milky Way was no longer simply forbidden. It was alive with humans who feared nothing and mastered everything. He turned to the human leader. I understand now. The galaxy will never forget this. My people will learn." The leader nodded. "They will. The truth cannot be erased. Humans face death every day, and we survive. That is the lesson of the Deathworlders." Kiro clenched his claws and felt a strange pride. He had crossed into the forbidden, faced danger, and witnessed the impossible. He had learned the truth of humans, and he knew his life and the galaxy would never be the same. As the storm raged and the Milky Way stretched before him, Kiro whispered, "The galaxy will know why humans fear nothing." Lightning flashed, illuminating the humans standing tall among fire, wind, and storms. Kiro smiled, understanding that the legends were true in an unexpected way. Humans were dangerous, fearless, and unstoppable. The universe had seen the Deathworlders, and their story had only just begun.